Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. This is Ijaz Munir. Uh, Today our topic is NIBOSH International General Certificate in Occupational Safety and Health IGC1, and also this is listening practice element 1 NIBOSH IGC1, and we can discuss element 1 why we should manage workplace health and safety RRC International. Learning objectives: discuss the moral, social, and financial reason for managing health and safety in the workplace. Explain how health and safety is regulated and the consequences of non-compliance. Summarize the main health and safety duties of different groups of people at work. Explain how contractors should be selected, monitored, and managed. Morals and money. Introduction to key terms: health, safety, and welfare. First of all, we discuss with uh, health, absence of disease or ill health, or you can say absence of any physical or psychological disease is called health. Safety, absence of risk of serious personal injury, or you can say protects from hazards or control of accidental loss to people, property, environment, or process is called safety. Welfare, access, access to basic facilities, group exercise. Why might the management of an organization not consider health and safety to be priority? The moral reason for managing health and safety. Global statistics from the International Labour Organization ILO Safe Work Program. Over 350,000 work-related fatal accidents each year, 2.75 million work-related fatalities each year, 2.4 million fatalities from occupational diseases, 270 million accidents and 160 million diseases a year due to work. 4% of global GDP is lost. Group exercise, group number 2. An employee at your workplace has been seriously injured in a workplace accident. In groups, list the possible effects and implications of this accident on the injured employee, company, line manager. The financial reason for managing health and safety. Accident and ill health cost money. Costs may be direct and indirect. Direct, measurable costs arising directly from the accidents. Indirect, arise as a consequence of the event but may not directly involve money, often difficult to quantify. Health and safety failure can affect broader economy as well as individual companies. Insured and uninsured cost. Insured cost, fire, worker injury, death, medical cost. Uninsured cost, loss of raw materials due to accidents, sick pay, overtime, equipment repairs, lost material. End of section 1.5 exercise. What are the three main reasons for managing health and safety? What should an employer provide to ensure health and safety? Safe place of space, safe place, plant and space, safe space of work, training, space, and competency of space. Regulating health and safety. Legal reason for managing workplace health and safety. Most countries have health and safety laws. Failure to achieve legal minimum standards can lead to prosecution. The international framework, International Labour Organization, Agency of the United Nations, most countries are members, sets international standard for health and safety by publishing Conventions, recommendations. Conventions create binding obligations or policies to implement their provisions. No legal authority, unless ratified by the member state into its own legal structure. Recommendation provide guidance on policy, legislation, and practice. Regulations adopted by the IL, Occupational Safety and Health Convention C155, a goal setting policy for companies and nations. Occupational Safety and Health Recommendation 1981 R164 supplements C155 and gives more guidance on how to comply with its policies. Employer responsibilities. Article 16 of C155 identifies obligations placed on employers to ensure that workplaces, machinery, equipment, and work processes are safe and without risk to health. Ensure that chemical, physical, and biological substances and agents are without risk to health when protective measures have been taken. Provide adequate protective clothing and equipment to prevent risk of accidents or adverse health effects. Everybody is responsible for health and safety, but most of the responsibility lies with the employer to provide safe place of work, safe plant and equipment, safe system of work, training, supervision, and competency of staff. Employers' responsibilities. Article 10 of R164 provide and maintain workplaces, machinery, and equipment, and use working methods that are safe. Give necessary instruction, training, and supervision in application and use of health and safety measures. Introduce organizational arrangements relevant to activities and size of undertaking. Provide PPE and clothing without charge to workers. Ensure that work organization, particularly working hours and rest breaks, does not adversely affect occupational safety and health. Take reasonably practical measures with a view to eliminating excessive physical and mental fatigue. Keep up to date with scientific and technical knowledge to comply with the above. Article 19 of C155 also places obligations on workers expanded in R164 as follows. Take reasonable care of their own safety and that of other people. Comply with safety instruction and procedures. Use all safety equipment properly. Report any situation that they believe could be a hazard and which they cannot themselves correct. Report any work-related accident, ill health. Worker responsibilities and rights. Article 19 of C155 states that every worker must be give adequate information on actions the employer has taken to ensure safety and health. Give the right to necessary give the right to the necessary training in safety and health, consulted by consulted by the employer on all matters of safety and health relating to their work. Given the right to leave a workplace that he has reason to think presents an imminent and serious danger to his life or health and not be compelled to return until it is safe. The role of enforcement agencies. No harmonized global standard. Country specific agencies may include health and safety enforcement agency, fire authority, insurance companies, police may be involved in enforcing health and safety laws in some countries. Consequences of non-compliance. Breach of health and safety legislation is usually a criminal offense leading to enforcement action, improvement, prohibition, prosecution. Organization may be fined, individual may be fined or imprisoned. Other international standards. International Organization for Standardization, ISO, world largest developer of management standards. ISO 9001 quality management, ISO 14001 environmental management system, ISO 12100 safety of machinery. These standards are not law, they are good management practice. They lead to a worldwide common approach to good management. Other international standards, internationally recognized standard for occupational health and safety is currently ISO 14001, compatible with ISO 9001 and ISO 14001. Sources of information, health and safety executive, www.hse.gov.uk, Occupational Safety and Health Administration USA, www.osha.gov, European Agency for Safety and Health at Work, EU, European, https slash osha.europea.ea slash en, WorkSafe Western Australia, www.commerce.wa.gov.au slash WorkSafe. Group exercise. An employee has been injured at work. Identify potential direct cost of the accident, indirect cost of the accident. First of all, we can discuss group exercise, discuss the criminal and civil law implication of the following. A technician escapes injury by dividing under a bench when a vessel blows up as a result of a design defect. A 12-year-old boy breaks his arm falling into a pit while playing on an unfenced building site. A machine operator is blinded in one eye by a colleague, trying to help him remove a jammed machine part using a hammer. There is a safe way to remove the jammed part which does not involve the use of a hammer, and the area they are is in is a mandatory eye production zone. A scaffolder is electrocuted when the pole he is carrying to touches a live overhead cable. The scaffolder works for a company contracted to a roofing company, in turn contracted to a factory owner. End of module 1.2 exercise. What are the two main standards that the ILO has produced for health and safety? What do countries do with these standards? What are employers' responsibilities under R164? What are employees' responsibilities under R164? What action could be taken against organizations breaking health and safety laws? Who does what in organization? The employer. The employer, a person or organization that employs people. The employer in this context is normally an organization such as a company, and is sometimes referred to as the corporate body. They are a legal person. The employer. Responsibility for ensuring that the workplace is safe and free of health risk rests with the employer. As we noted earlier, the responsibility is made clear in ILO Convention C155, ILO Recommendation R164. The employer. The employer carries ultimate responsibility for ensuring that the workplace is safe and free of healthy and safety risk. Ensure the safety of workers and others, visitors and contractors. Directors and senior managers. Give an organization its direction, set its priorities, allocate resources, and appoint competent persons. Allocate responsibilities are responsible for ensuring that all of the legal requirements are met. Director and senior managers can have enormous influence over their organization and its priorities. The way they are perceived by those lower in the management hierarchy is very important. They must demonstrate clear commitment and leadership with regard to health and safety. Middle managers and supervisors. Middle managers and supervisors are involved in the day-to-day operational running of the organization, so are responsible for the health and safety standards within the operations under their control. Managers and supervisors. The shared responsibilities of joint occupiers of premises. ILO Convention C-155 Article 17, ILO Recommendation R-164, Recommendation 11. Employers in shared facilities should communicate to develop appropriate health and safety standards and appropriate policies and procedures. This may include sharing of procedures, fires and emergency response, sharing of risk assessment, joint management committee meetings. Contractor management. If a client can be held responsible for an injury caused by a contractor working for the client, then it must be in the client's own best interests to ensure that contractor do not endanger endanger workers or others. Shared duties. The way that a client manager contractors can be broken down into three key areas: selection of contractors, planning and coordinating the work, monitoring and managing the work. Selection of contractor. Things you should check: health and safety policy, risk assessment, qualifications and training records, memberships of a professional organization, maintenance and equipment testing, previous or current clients, accident records, enforcement action, adequate resources. Planning and coordinating of the work, information to be shared between client and contractor, hazards posed by the site, and work carried out, hazards posed by the contractor's activities, risk assessment, method statement, planning and coordination of the work, arrangements between the client and contractor include ensuring activities don't conflict, permit to work system to control activities, monitors and managing the work. Clients must monitor the work to ensure safety. The client can stop the work if it involves unsafe activity, unsafe practices. Auditing against agreed method statement is a good technique. End of module 1.3 exercise. To whom does an employer owe a duty with regard to health and safety? How can directors influence health and safety? What are the key worker responsibilities? What would you look for check when selecting a contractor? In this element, summary. In this element, we have introduced some keywords such as health, safety, and welfare, highlighted the three main reasons why an organization has to manage health and safety, which can be summarized as moral, legal, and financial, set out the basic requirements of the international standard that govern health and safety, the ILO Convention C-155 and Recommendation R-164, discuss the consequences for employers and workers of non-compliance with legal standards, together with the possible issue of workers' compensation, noted some sources of information on a national health and safety standards, identified various parties within and outside of the workplace and the responsibilities that they have, considered the responsibility that a client has for the management of contractors, and outlined the steps that a client should take to choose a competent contractor and plan and monitor their work. Thank you.